Hello everyone and welcome back to Simulated TC here for the 5th round of the season. Race number 14 is ahead of us and we are almost ready to go racing. The big story coming into this race is Scott Sundever has not got his car onto the grid after failing to declare his tyre choices in time for this race. The championship leader will not be participating, which means Liam Jones in second place in the championship, just 8 points behind the leader, has the perfect opportunity to take the championship lead away from him, especially as Liam will be on the soft compound tyres for this race. Let's have a look at how the rest of the field though will be lining up for today's race number 2 at the Red Bull Ring. Starting at the rear of the field will be Jordan Fingal, who takes up the extra grid spot vacated by Scott Sundever. Jordan Fingal in the Tesla starts at the rear of the field, but on the soft compound tyres, keep an eye on his Tesla to make its way through the field. Ahead of him, it is Adam Liu on the medium compound tyres in his Renault. Ahead of him, another soft runner, it is Jackson Turner in the Honda. His teammate further up the field also on soft, could be one to watch for victory. As then we see Dylan Varstenberg in the bright pink Alfa Romeo on the medium tyres for this race. Ahead of him, Dimitri Sotirakis will be on the soft compound tyres, with Ben Driscoll in the Genesis on the mediums. Nobody on this starting grid has gone with the hard tyres, interestingly, many of those being used in races 1 and 3. Ahead of Driscoll on the grid, we see that as Adrian Tishy in the Toyota, the man that has been up at the front of the championship for most of the season so far, but no longer finds himself there. Ahead of him, it is Tyler on the soft tyres in his Peugeot, with Albert Asante just missing out on the top 10 starting places. He'll start 11th in his Toyota. Seb Mills just inside the top 10 on mediums in his particular Peugeot, with his teammate starting right behind him directly on the grid. Then it is the two Subarus of Lewis Francis and Liam Jones, both of them on the soft tyres for race number 2. Full drive cars tend to get good starts. He could be one to watch in this race. Ahead of him, Matthew Lilly. He's on the medium tyres for this one, as is Adam Richardson in 6th position. 5th place on the grid, and the highest starting soft runner is Jonathan Mills in his Honda. Is he the favourite for victory? You'd say so going into it. Ahead of him, it is Charlie Goodrick in his Renault on the medium tyres. Morgan Hitchings will line up in the 3rd position, just missing out on the front row starting positions in his DS, but it's his teammate ahead of him, the fellow DS. Aston Lewis starts 2nd on medium tyres, but pole position will be going to the way of race 1 winner Ian Henry would take his debut victory in race number 1, and now he will lead the field away on medium tyres though, so he's got his work cut out if he wants to win another one. The field is in position then, the revs are rising as the lights come on. And we are racing here, and we're underway for race 2 at the Red Bull Ring. It's another flying start from Ian Henwood as they head towards turn number 1. Jonathan Mills immediately cutting his way into 2nd place in the field on those soft tyres. Behind him, that's Aston Lewis, and then Liam Jones in the Subaru on softs is alongside him as they come up the hill towards turns 2 and 3 here. Hitchings right in behind his teammate as well, as Lewis looking to try and retake that position away from Liam Jones. Lewis does not have the tyre advantage, but he has the top speed advantage as they head into turn number 3. He retakes that place on the podium. Back to 3rd for Aston Lewis ahead of Liam Jones. Now it's Hitchings in the 2nd of the DS, is looking to the inside of the Subaru. Can't quite get the move done though. Does not have the grip to make that move stick. Behind him there, that's the 2nd of the Subarus here in this race. Lewis Francis now looking to try and make the move on Morgan Hitchings as they head towards turn number 4. The field all still very much on top of each other, apart from the top few drivers who are starting to single file out now. It is Hitchings ahead of Francis for now as we see the two Renaults side by side as it's almost 4 wide behind them there. That's Davison all the way down the inside of Matthew Lilly, and Adam Richardson and several others got past in that particular little battle. Charlie Goodrick just up the road ahead of them now as they battle into the middle part of the lap. Now these high-speed left-handers will really be a strong point for those on the softer tyres, and you can see that Jonathan Mills is all over the back of Ian Henwood here. Soft versus mediums. The Ford does not have the grip through this part of the lap to put up a fight really, but it just has to hope that as long as it's in the way of Mills, it can stay ahead of him for the rest of this race. But with another 6 laps to go at the end of this one, it's going to be near impossible for him to hold him off, but he's going to do all he can here. We saw at Brands Hatch Indy how long some of the medium runners were able to hold off those on the softs, even with a grip disadvantage. As here we see the two Subarus getting oh so close to battling through the final couple of corners there, as that's Hitchings now feeling the pressure from Charlie Goodrick into the final couple of corners, as Davison launches his way up the inside there of one of the Subarus. Looks like he's had to back out of that move though as they head on to the main straight. Mills is still in 2nd place, He's in the slipstream, but is he close enough to make anything happen as they head up into turn number 1? He's on the tail of the Ford. He's looking to the inside as they head through the first corner. He's going to launch his car over the curb and take over at the front of the field. It's Honda to the front. The Ford drops to second. Henwood, though, with his four-wheel drive traction off the corner, is trying to keep this battle on going as they head up the hill now. It's Mills ahead of Henwood. Lewis just watching on in third place. Jonathan Mills, lead driver on soft tyres, and he is now the leader on the road. He leads them up into turn number 3 as Aston Lewis is looking to try and take the second place away from Ian Henwood. He's going to get all the way down the inside in that DS, but Ford will have the better exit and will hold on to that position now. In fact, that will leave Aston Lewis a little bit on the back foot there, as Liam Jones is now on his tail as they head towards turn number 4, but he doesn't quite have the top speed to fight with the DS on this occasion. As we head now into this critical cornering part of the lap, Henwood, you can see holding up Aston Lewis and Liam Jones and Tyler Davison quite a bit now, as Davison's actually going to use this traffic to get to the inside of Liam Jones, and he's going to get all the way down the inside, not just of Jones, but also of the DS of Aston Lewis, and that is Tyler Davison up into third position now. Next up for him will be Ian Henwood in the Ford. The Peugeot, a very strong car on top end speed. It should be making these moves quickly, and indeed it is, although, it has to be said, not perhaps where you'd expect it to be making the moves now. See the two Subarus are going wheel to wheel here, as that's Francis going all the way around the outside of Jones. Jones, the top Subaru in the championship so far this season, but Francis looks like he wants to make a point here today. He wants to be the number 1 Subaru driver in this event, and at the moment at least, he is currently in that position. He now sees the rear of the DS of Aston Lewis as the next car he needs to overtake in this race as they head up to turn number 1 this time around. Davison looking to the inside of Henwood. Will he make the move through this corner? No, not quite able to get the overlap. One of the slight disadvantages of the smaller cars like the Peugeot and the DS is that whilst they have great top speed, they do lack the ability to get alongside of a car. Simply, they haven't got a nose to stick down the inside of their rivals. They have to really send it to get alongside. But here you can see the advantage that comes with that weakness is the incredible top speed that these little pocket rockets have. And he's going to get the move done into turn 3, or is he? As Henwood comes in and Aston Lewis says, "Get it done, will you? I want to try and overtake this driver as well here." Absolutely went straight into the back of Davison, forced him past the Ford driver. Lewis wasn't able to take advantage of that. He ends up still behind Ian Henwood now, with Lewis Francis on his outside. As they head into turn number 4, Lewis going to look to the inside of the Ford. Will he be able to outbrake the race 1 winner? He's got the inside line. That is the preferred line through here, and he does get that move done. Henwood going to try and carry it around the outside. It's going to be tricky stuff, though. He should have better traction, but will it be enough here? They continue to go side by side now as they head through turn 5 and into 6. It is Henwood ahead of Aston Lewis, as now Lewis Francis trying to get involved in this fight as well here. He's on the tail of Aston Lewis in the DS. You can see the Subaru. In fact, both Subarus both clearly have the grip over the drivers ahead of them, but they're just a little bit blocked off at the moment as Francis looks to the inside. He can't pull off the move that Davison did last lap around, though. He is stuck for now. Sotirakis, another one of the drivers on soft in this race. He is slowly making his way up the field as now we see the two lowest runners on the soft tyres in this race, Jordan Fingal and Jackson Turner there, both still sitting just at the back end of the points paying positions, barely anywhere near the top 10. So they've got a lot of progress to make in what is a short race ahead of them now. As you can see there, that is Lewis Francis, still just about ahead of his teammate, but Jones looks to the inside, not quite able to make the move happen that time. These drivers all still absolutely no style as they head down the main straight once more to start lap number 4 of this race. You can see the two Subarus so similar on speed, and you can see now that is Jones looking to try and make the move into turn number 1. Meanwhile, Lewis trying to do a similar move on Henwood just up the road. They go side by side, but no, Francis holds him off as they get through the first corner. And now once again, it's a familiar story here. This is Aston Lewis trying to pass Ian Henwood, but once again it gets outdone on traction as they head up the hill there. A little bit of a wobble there as they came close to contact from Henwood, and Henwood will lose that position as Davison, meanwhile, has caught up to the back of Jonathan Mills, but he hasn't quite got close enough just yet. There could be a fight for the victory still ahead of us here, as that's Sotirakis making a move here. Soft tyres on soft tyres. The traffic for the Subarus is really costing them now, as that is the Mercedes of the Greek driver of Dimitri Sotirakis getting involved in this fight. He's now found himself in the slipstream of Henwood, Lewis ahead of Henwood now, and that is also Lewis Francis ahead of Henwood and Aston Lewis. Lots of Lewises in that battle. Slightly confusing, I have to admit, but now it is Lewis Francis ahead of Aston Lewis. Then we see Ian Henwood racing with Liam Jones, who's trying to go all the way around the outside, with Dimitri Sotirakis watching on behind, trying to get an opportunity to pass the both of them here. As again, we see Henwood and Liam Jones getting close through this part of the lap. Can Jones make the move happen this time around? He can indeed. He gets all the way down the inside and makes that move look easy after multiple laps of trying. Sotirakis, meanwhile, a little bit stuck now behind the Ford ahead, not quite able to look for the move though. And it is Jones once again trying to make another move to the inside of Aston Lewis. He looks like he's got a little bit of a better run through the corner here. Sotirakis certainly has. He's right on the tail of Jones as they head towards the final couple of corners here. It is Aston Lewis for now, at least, holding on to that 4th position. That car proving to be quite a tricky car to get past in this one so far, as now you can see Henwood looking to repass Sotirakis. Sotirakis with the grip though through the penultimate corner will hold on to that place. Will he have a look down the inside of the final corner? No, not quite able to get the momentum for it as they come through the final corner again here. Aston Lewis ahead of Liam Jones still, but up at the front of the field, they're side by side for the lead. It's Tyler Davison to the inside, Mills on the outside, and it's Davison that's taking away the lead of the race. It is the Peugeot to the front. Tyler Davison leads at the Red Bull Ring. Jonathan Mills falls back into 2nd place now. He finds himself on the back foot, and he will now have to repass the Peugeot. 2 front-wheel drive cars. It's a track that suits them for some reason, and you can see Tyler Davison on a charge in this race, and he now finds himself at the head of the field. Mills still right on his tail though. That Honda has made its way past some rivals already this season. Can it pass one more driver? Mills looking to add a win to his seasonal. Already won to his name earlier on in the season. Honda not having a great season so far, as that can be seen now as well by his teammate Jackson Turner down in 13th place. The same can be said for Tesla, also having a pretty rough season so far, as that is Jordan Fingal just ahead of Turner now. As we see, finally, there it is Liam Jones getting down the inside of Aston Lewis, but just as he gets it done, look who follows him straight through and up the position as well. Dimitri Sotirakis makes that move, and he's now up into 5th position. Liam Jones ahead of Sotirakis as they head through the final couple of corners here. It is Jones ahead of the Mercedes, but the Mercedes clearly caught up to the Subaru. But was that due to traffic, or was that because it had the speed to pass him? We'll have to wait and see now. As we see, we've got a bit of a train going on here. This is Morgan Hitchings ahead of Charlie Goodrick, Seb Mills, Jordan Fingal here with Jackson Turner and Adam Richardson right behind them. Some soft runners getting caught up in some more traffic further down the field here. It's proving to be a very tough track to overtake on, seemingly, as Seb Mills there in the Peugeot is continuing to stay ahead of Jordan Fingal as they head towards turn number 1. Turner behind, also trying to make the pass on Adam Richardson. Again, breaking into the first turn here. It looks like top speed is the key factor to getting these moves done, and the Renault is no slouch, but on this occasion, looks like the Honda, using that extra grip, has been able to get the move done on Adam Richardson, the reigning champ, just behind him now. As we see Jordan Fingal in that Tesla. Of course, we know the Tesla's strength is not top-end speed. That's probably the cause of its issues around this track in particular, as we see also close in the battle for 4th place. That is Jones just ahead of Sotirakis still. Sotirakis had a little bit of a look there, but wasn't quite able to make anything of it now, as Fingal still finds himself stuck behind Seb Mills. Now with Turner on the back of them, but again Fingal has the traction on corner exit to make the move, but can he keep his nose in this fight by the time they get to the next corner? And the answer is a resounding no. The Peugeot, so much better on top end speed, is clear of the Tesla, and that's going to give Turner the chance to attack into turn number 4, the penultimate lap of the race. This is, these drivers on soft tyres could in fact miss out on even getting a top 10 away from this event. This is not an event to remember for the Honda or the Tesla manufacturers. Does not seem to be going their way so far, unless of course for Honda, Mills can retake the lead. Then maybe Honda can take something away from this event, as we see side by side still between these two rivals. The Tesla looking to try and get to the inside now of Mills, as Turner's going to go all the way around the outside of the Peugeot. He's going to have the opportunity to get this move finished off now, and he does, up into 10th place. Turner is up another position now. Crucially, is into the reverse top 10 grid. Of course, race 3, the starting grid for that is set by the top 10 of race number 2, but with it flipped. So the driver that finishes this race in 10th place will start race number 3 on pole position now, as Ian Henwood has joined in with this fight. He is now the new leader of this particular train as Turner looks to the inside there as they head through the final corner. He's got to the inside of Goodrick. He's in behind Morgan Hitchings as they head down the main straight once more. Hitchings gets ahead of Henwood. He makes the move stick. DS ahead of Ford. Now it's Renault and Honda side by side with the Peugeot right up behind them as they start the final lap of the race here. And Seb Mills could be about to knock Turner out of the top 10. He does indeed as they head into Terminal, but a side-to-side contact there. Car's getting all sorts of out of shape now as that's Mills down the inside of Goodrick. Goodrick now finds himself in 10th place, wheel to wheel here between 9th and 10th positions, as now we see Turner is on the tail of them still. Jordan Fingal also trying to do all he can to get into the top 10. At this point, they know podium is not going to be a realistic possibility. Top 5 is not going to happen for them, but if they miss out on the reverse top 10, that would be an absolute disaster for both of those drivers, and for now at least, they are not in it. Now as that's Richardson on the mediums, coming back at Fingal on the softs. Fingal does just hold on there, but wow, this is really a very fascinating situation that these drivers find themselves in. The traffic has been worse than ever today, it has to be said. Henwood, though, ahead in this group. Hitchings starting to gap away at the front of it. But as they head into this corner, they all look to be single filing out a little bit as up at the front of the field, Tyler Davison is making his way through the final sector of the lap now. He has massively gapped Mills in the final few laps of this race. You could barely see Jonathan Mills behind him in that previous camera shot as he heads to the penultimate corner of the race. Tyler Davison from 12th to the lead and by a dominant margin. He's going to come round the final corner now for the final time, and he is going to take Peugeot to victory here in Simulated TC. Race win number 1 in season number 2. It's Tyler Davison. He wins at the Red Bull Ring. Race 2 goes to Davison. Mills, the master of race 2 traditionally, he's only able to take second place away from this one. Behind him, it's the two Subarus with Francis ahead of Jones there in the battle for 3rd and 4th position, with Sotirakis just in behind them. So the official results then for the second race at the Red Bull Ring. Davison ahead of Mills by 7 seconds in the end. A huge margin in what is a relatively short race, it has to be said. Then we see Lewis Francis beating his teammate. Not often that Francis has been the top Subaru this season, so that's good to see for his season. Jones, though, with a strong points day here. That will take him to the championship lead, so still something to be pleased with. Dimitri Sotirakis in 5th place ahead of Aston Lewis there. Morgan Hitchings in 7th place. Jackson Turner did get up a couple of positions in the final moments of that race. He comes home in 8th position on the soft tyres, meaning he'll start race number 3 in the 3rd position. In 9th place, Jordan Fingal also managed to just get those positions at the end of that race. He finds himself in the 9th position. That'll be a front row start for him in race number 3. And on reverse grid pole, as we've often seen this season, drivers that start on the front row for races 1 and 2 quite often start on the front row for race number 3 as well. Henwood started race 1 second, race 2 first. He's going to be starting race 3 in 1st place as well, and with that 10th place finish for him. Seb Mills just missing out in the end. Charlie Goodrick in 12th place. Adam Richardson in 13th. Adrian Tishy, one of the other championship contenders, only 14th for him, ahead of his teammate Albert Asante taking the final points paying position. The 3 drivers to miss out on points in that race, 4 drivers to miss out on points in that race are Ben Driscoll, Dylan Vastenberg, Matthew Lilly, and Adam Lee brings his Renault home in last place. That's it then for race 2 at the Red Bull Ring. I do hope you all enjoyed that one. We've still got one more race here to go, and with once more, like we often see, a very interesting starting grid for the final race. A real mix of tyres on display. We could be in for an exciting one, so I do hope you'll join us on Thursday for that one. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.